Yes, people, wife, boy. And first of all, I want to say thank you all for reaching 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Now let's get into the video. This is going to be my thoughts on what I believe Arsenal's realistic expectations should be for the rest of this season. Of course, half of it's gone. We now had that World Cup in the middle of it, which was unprecedented. We've never seen it before. And we can now think about where Arsenal really should finish come the end of the season. I want to hear your thoughts as well in the comment section down below. So let me know your thoughts on Arsenal and what you believe we should do come the end of the season, what you would be happy with. So first, let's address the fact that we are in a title charge. Whether we like it or not, it comes with positives and negatives. We are in a title charge. We're 5 points clear of the top of the table on this restart day come Boxing Day. And therefore, how can we not be in a title charge? Now, of course, it comes with its positives. We're top of the table. All the fans have got a great feeling. There's a great feeling around the club. But there's also some negatives not a lot of people are considering. First of all, the only way is down now, really. I know it's kind of a pessimistic thought, but anything below first can be seen as a failure in the second half of the season. It's just the way it is. If you start first to then finish anything but first, you've decreased, you've declined. And that's not going to be a great feeling around the club. As opposed to if we were second and push for a title and then finish first, for example, that'd be a massive improvement, massive change type. That you see that type of vibe. But I don't really think we should view it as that. That's just a way of looking at it in the outside perspective. But we all know internally, inside Arsenal Football Club, that finishing anywhere between 1 and 3rd really is a massive, massive improvement. 4th, I'd say, is a great improvement, given that we finished in the Champions League spots. But 1 to 3rd is a massive overachievement, given everyone's thoughts at the start of the season. So that moves into my next point. January, bolster signings needed. Big time. We need to recruit in January. We cannot take this January transfer window lightly. We saw what happened last season. In January, we signed no one. Matt Turner and Austin Trusty, who ended up coming in the summer anyway. Who strengthened in the summer? Tottenham Hotspur. They were below us this point in January last season. They signed Kulusevski and Bentancur and they flew. They literally finished above us. They pipped us to the spots. And one of those players was Kulusevski, who was immense at the end of last season. And Bentancur's looked really good this season as well. So that's just shown when you don't recruit in January, it comes back to bite you. We need to sign big in January. Now, when I say sign big, we don't have to splash 200 million, treat it like a summer window. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm saying we need to sign key players and players that are going to give this whole squad a morale boost. Someone like the likes of Mudryk, an exciting 21-year-old winger, someone that can really get the fans off their seat and think, hold on a minute, we've got a player here. Kind of like the likes of Luis Diaz was for Liverpool in a way, where they just signed him in January, get the whole squad a morale boost. Everyone was saying, wow, he can be a catalyst for Liverpool going on to try and compete for the title, which they did. They fell a little bit short, but look at where they were in January for the title compared to where they were in May. They were very close when everyone thought the title was already over in January to Man City. We're 5 points clear, so we're ahead of Liverpool in that respect from where they were last season. We just need a couple of extra signings to bolster the squad and go from there. And particularly need signings because of the injury news to Gabriel Jesus. I've covered that in a lot of previous videos, so I'm not going to go over it again. But the long and short of it is, we need a bagsman. We need a goal scorer. And we need to fill his boots and fill his void, because it's going to be a massive miss, Gabriel Jesus missing for Arsenal Football Club. Then we've got the other aspect, something that not a lot of people have really talked about, even though it is there for Arsenal, the Europa League. We've got a bye, finishing top of our group, meaning that we miss the round of 32 and go straight through to the round of 16 to either play the 2nd place group in the Europa League or the 3rd place teams in the Champions League groups. Europa League's tough this year. I know in a lot of previous seasons, everyone said, Europa League is a BTEC Champions League, it's not that important. Yeah, of course, it's not as important as the Champions League, but there's some very good teams in this Europa League. Make no mistake about it. It is a tough, tough competition. Do we take this seriously? For me, I'm split in two minds. I, of course, want to take every competition seriously. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to win every trophy on planet Earth that you can win as a footballer? But at some point, you've got to make a decision and you've got to weigh up the pros and cons of it. We have not got the deepest squad on the planet. We are not Man City. We have not got world-class players, multiple world-class players in every position, meaning that players will have to be rested for the Premier League or Europa League. And for me, I think we take stock come February when the Europa League games start. And if we're still in a very good position, we have to prioritise the Premier League. We have to, for me. I think it's much better than the Europa League in that respect. That's when I posed the question down in my community. So check that out if you haven't already. Well, I asked the question. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section to this. Would you rather Arsenal finished second, but we've had a great title charge. Like all the way until end of April, May, we've been fighting for the title and we just lose it to Man City, for example. But that means we do not win the Europa League and we do not win the FA Cup. Or would you rather Arsenal finish fourth, so we still get a Champions League spot, but not a title race type vibe, but we also win the Europa League? Or would you rather Arsenal finish sixth, so basically have a massive capitulation, but we win the Europa League and win the FA Cup? Which would you rather? Let me know in my community poll and in the comment section. For me, I'm going to give my opinion now on it. I would rather see Arsenal finish second and literally forego the Europa League, because I think being in a title charge would be massive for this football club for multiple reasons I'm going to discuss now. First of all, the mentality to be in a title charge, it brings a certain DNA to the club. We've got a couple of players, the likes of Zinchenko and Jesus, who have won the title. No one else in this football club has been in a title charge in the Premier League, where they can confidently say for a good, let's say until maybe the last month or last couple of weeks of the Premier League season, they were in and around winning this Premier League title. No one else in this football club. You need that. You need that sense of belief and you need that sense of winningness. I think it will set us up perfectly. The other side of it is coming into that summer transfer window, we're an up-and-coming team, a lot of young players, a project. If a lot of players are seeing us be this close to winning the Premier League title, we could attract some big names in summer, and I think in the long term that would be better for us. If we finish fourth and win the Europa League, for example, I can't see us bagging someone like Jude Bellingham. If we finish second, and we're this close to win the Premier League, I could see us go for someone of the likes of Jude Bellingham, for example, because why would he not come? If we finish second, this close to win the Premier League, we are, in many respects, the second most respectable and most admirable club in the Premier League right now. Because we're a better destination, a more favourable destination than Liverpool in that respects. Because if we finish above them, that's the case. Okay, Man City, they're top. They're the most favourable, most respectable decision to go to if you're a player. But does everyone want to go Man City? Let's be real. Does everyone do it? Are they going to be guaranteed to start in many respects? We are an up-and-coming team. We are a young team. We are a team that's only going to get better due to our age, our demographic. Does that mean that these players, these world-class up-and-coming players, can start to come back to Arsenal again? When's the last time Arsenal have signed a flat-out world-class player? Because I know we've signed players like Jesus who look amazing, Zinchenko, but then they weren't world-class when we signed them. The last player I can remember Arsenal actually signing when they were world-class when we signed them, a top prospect, was, I want to say, Mesut Ozil. I'm not going to really say Alexis, because Alexis, even he was kind of on the fringes of Barcelona. He wasn't really starting for them. Mesut Ozil, back in 2013, I want to say, it might have even been 2014, I can't exactly remember. That was the last world-class player Arsenal actually signed, where we bought him in from another club when he was one of the world's best in his position. Since then, I can't remember Arsenal doing that. We've seen other clubs do it. Liverpool, for example. Man City bought in Haaland, for example. We need to get to that promised land again and get to a place where other clubs respect Arsenal and respect our hustle and our grind and think, okay, I really want to move to this football club. And I think if Arsenal finish second and we just discard the Europa League in many respects but put on a favourable title charge, that will show a lot of players that they might actually want to come to Arsenal. And if we can bring in these top quality players, the likes of the Jude Bellinghams, get a promising striker in as well, where it could be mounting ourselves more towards actually having a competent and proper favourable title charge the season after, where a lot of us don't see Arsenal as outsiders but actually maybe favourites for the title alongside Man City, because this season, despite the fact we're 5 points clear, we're still getting no respect from the pundits. They'll say, nah, Man City's still going to win it by a landslide, Arsenal going to fall off. We don't get any respect. And look, in many ways I can't really begrudge them for that, because we haven't proven it over a long enough period. You could still say we're on a purple patch. But if we finish second this season, put up a proper title charge, no one can say that Arsenal do not deserve to be favourites going into next season or joint favourites alongside Man City. Then we've got the final point I want to bring up in this video, which is the FA Cup. How do you lot feel about the FA Cup? For me, I think going out of the Carabao Cup, although you don't want to forfeit any competition, it was the best thing we could have did, because I did not really care about that competition whatsoever, I can't lie. The FA Cup, I kind of feel the same way. I know the heritage it has in England of being like the oldest club competition and all that, and we've won it the most amount of times. But for me, that's all just open records, man. Like, I would forego the FA Cup as well if it means we couldn't have a good chance at the Premier League title. For me, it's Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Last season, we got knocked out in the third round to Nottingham Forest. After that, we won a terror run in the Premier League, and we were this close to finishing top 4. We've got Oxford United. Favourable game. I'm being honest, we should win that game. We should win that game with our eyes closed. I don't want to preempt it, but we should. With the FA Cup, we play our second string / C string team, to be honest. We need to keep our main team fresh for this Premier League and at times the Europa League as well. But yeah, there we go. That was my thoughts on my expectations for Arsenal this season. I'm going to end by saying, if Arsenal finished where we were still competing for the title come end of April, like I want to say mid-April, around my birthday is the 23rd of April. If we were still in a title race on the 23rd of April, I will be happy with our achievements this season. Bearing in mind how far it's gone. Now, obviously, if I said that at the start of the season, I'd snap your hand off for it. But expectations change. Your thoughts on the football club change. Your perceptions on Arsenal change as we go through the season. And at this midway point, I have to say that I still would expect us to be challenging for a title come mid to end of April. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I want to say thank you once again for 1,000 subscribers. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe on my new road to 2,000. I've been Wife and hope to see you all in my next video.